Well, I think I made a breakthrough on why the Nexus event happened last September on the 24th. And I believe I found my answers right here in Haggai. But I got a couple questions I want to ask you, and I'm real curious to see what your answer to those questions are going to be. The last chapter I read was Zephaniah, chapter 3. And I just went to the next book, Haggai. And I'm going to keep doing this, Abba willing. I'm just going to keep reading like I've been doing for how long now? And it's been context. That's the only way I found all this truth that I found. And if you want to know why people have such a hard time in seeing this truth, watch how they read the word. They go in and they read one verse or two verses, and they don't have a clue what that guy, whoever wrote that's even talking about, because they don't get the context. In the second year of Darius the sovereign, in the 6th new moon, on the first day of the new moon, the word of Yahuwah came by Haggai the prophet to Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, governor of Yehuda, and to Joshua, son of Jehozadak, the high priest, saying, Thus spoke Yahuwah of hosts, saying, This people have said, the time has not come, the time the house of Yahuwah is to be built. So they are calling the shots, is what he's saying. Then the word of Yahuwah came by Haggai the prophet, saying, Is it time for you yourselves to dwell in your paneled houses, and this house be in ruins? And now, thus said Yahuwah of hosts, consider your ways. You have sown much, but brought in little. Eat, but do not have enough. Drink, but you are not filled with drink. Clothe yourselves, but no one is warm, and he who earns wages to put into a bag with holes. Thus said Yahuwah of hosts, consider your ways. So this confirms, this is Abba backing up what I've been saying because of what I've been reading from his word. It's for nothing. It doesn't matter who you go and vote for tomorrow. It don't matter if you're the first one in the church and the last one to leave this Sunday. It don't matter how many Easter eggs you painted. It doesn't matter how much money you've donated to your charitable foundation of your preference. It doesn't matter. None of that matters if the house of the Most High doesn't matter to you. Consider your ways. Go up to the mountain, and you shall bring wood and build the house, and I will be pleased with it, and let me be esteemed, said Yahuwah. Let me be esteemed. If you go tomorrow and vote, is Abba being esteemed with your vote? And I know most people who are going to go vote tomorrow think that. They think that by voting for Trump, they're esteeming the Most High. Them same people are the same type of people who think that Rabbi Shmuley is a stand-up guy, or Netanyahu, or George Bush, or any of these people, left or right. If you're someone who believes that we're in the latter days, I mean, what are you even doing? Why are you going to vote? I mean, this makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. Absolutely not a lick of sense. What good has your voting, what has it got you in the past when you went and cast your vote? Has things changed? When you voted in Trump or Biden, did anything change for you? For the better? For the better, to better the kingdom of the Most High? Have you bettered the kingdom of the Most High in the slightest with any of your voting? You haven't. And really what that tells me is, yeah, you probably think we're in the latter days, and you're just saying that because it's trending right now and all your friends are talking about it. But by you going to vote, that just proves to me that you don't want the kingdom of the Most High to come. You want to kick this American can down the road a little bit longer, and you think your vote's gonna do something about gay marriage or abortion or something like that. You're out of your damn mind, and that's the problem. It's like a moth to the flame. All these people who they'll die supporting Trump and Israel and all these nasty things, and every day we see it's like double than what it was yesterday. Tomorrow we'll wake up and it's going to be times 2 of the obvious, of how obvious it is that the people that you're supporting are straight up evil and sick and twisted every day since September 24th of last year. Go up to the mountain, and you shall bring wood and build the house, and I will be pleased with it, and let me be esteemed, said Yahuwah. When you looked for much, then see, it came to little, and when you brought it home, I would blow on it. Why? Why, you ask? Declares Yahuwah of hosts. Because of my house, which lies in ruins, while each of you runs to his own house. I don't even feel bad for you guys anymore. I really don't. Because you're either not real, you're either robots or zombies or something, and you're just not a real person. Or you just don't care. You got a death wish. You don't care about anyone around you. You don't care about your own life. All you care about is the money, cars, and the clothes. Because you can't say that it's not for that, because if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't be going to vote. You wouldn't be standing with ISIS Ra'el. Why they lie every day on the news, and they're just it's just sick. I'm done talking about it, really. It's just so sick. It's sickening. But if you planted a garden, if you go like it's spring, if you go and till an area out and you pull the weeds and you plant your vegetable garden and you nurture that garden all summer long, and then come harvest time, what you're doing is the equivalent of you just looking out the window at all that fruit and all those vegetables out there in your garden and never harvesting one of them. Just letting them rot out there in the field, in the garden. That's basically what you guys are doing right now. All your church gatherings and prayers and offerings and tithes and all the things that you've been doing, which could all be great, but because you have no cares about the Most High's house, it was all for nothing. It was for nothing. He just told you. That's why. Because of my house, which lies in ruins, while each of you runs to his own house. Now, this is the part I need you to pay attention to, verse 10 right here. This is key. Because everyone runs to his own house, no one cares about the Most High's house. And you can't say you do if you haven't realized that Israel is the image of the beast. And I've got all the proof anyone could ask for. Proof that that's the image of the beast. If you don't know that that's the image of the beast, you don't care about his house. If you never go in and look into where his real house is and long to return and mourn over the set apart place being in humiliation right now and everything that's going on to it, if you don't care about none of that, you don't care about his house. That's why you can't see this truth. Because listen to what verse 10 says. It says, therefore, because his house is in ruins and everyone runs to his own house, the heavens above you have withheld the dew, and the earth has withheld its fruit. If you think what he just said in verse 10 is literal, that he's talking about gardening and stuff, I don't even think there's any hope for you, honestly. But it don't take a rocket scientist to figure out why it is I'm seeing this truth. He's explaining it to us right now. The reason the heavens haven't been withheld from me, and I'm not saying I know all, but the reason I'm being blessed with this abundance of truth is because it's about the Most High's house. I haven't ran to my own paneled house. I've ran to his house. I went looking for him, and I found him. I found his house. Does that mean that I'm going to start swinging a hammer tomorrow and building it? No. I heard the whistle, and I came home, and I'm hungry for his truth that comes from his word about his house. I don't care nothing about America. No, I don't. This is where I'm from. I'm glad I grew up where I did, and it made me who I am. I love the people of this country. I love a lot of the things that they stand for, and just, who wouldn't love the things that we, some of the things that we, some of our values. Who wouldn't? But the Most High told me that it's all going away, that there will be no America, there'll be no Russia, there'll be no Iran, there'll be no Israel, that there's only gonna be his house in the end, and all the rest is gonna be destroyed. So why would I go vote to keep this show going? I mean, it just defeats the whole purpose. And it only proves that you really don't believe, you're just talking shit. And if you want to know why it is I see this truth and you can't, boom, you just seen it. He just showed you. He just told you why. And I called for a drought on the land, and on the mountains, and on the grain, and on the new wine, and on the oil, and on whatever the ground brings forth, and on man, and on livestock, and on all the labor of the hands. Then Zerubbabel son of Shealtiel and Joshua son of Jehozadak the high priest, with all the remnant of the people, obeyed the voice of Yahuwah their mighty Most High, and the words of Haggai the prophet, as Yahuwah their mighty Most High had sent him. And the people feared the presence of Yahuwah. And Haggai, the messenger of Yahuwah, spoke the message of Yahuwah to the people, saying, I am with you, declares Yahuwah. And Yahuwah stirred up the spirit of Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, governor of Yehuda, and the spirit of Joshua, and the spirit of the remnant of the people. And they came and worked on the house of Yahuwah of hosts, their mighty Most High. On what day? On the 24th day of the 6th new moon, in the second year of Darius the Sovereign. So if April is the first month, May's the second, June's the third, July's the fourth, August is the fifth, September is the sixth new moon. So on the 24th of September. Now, that's not the only place that it points out that that's probably why that Nexus event happened. That's probably why all this stuff started happening, and Israel's support worldwide has taken a nosedive. And I know most people, they just can't believe that the Most High's got it like that. But, it's too bad, I guess, that you feel that way, because the Most High can do whatever he wants. And, just like those people back there in the first chapter when they said, it's not time. They thought that they call the shots. That's what you're doing right now. If you get up and go vote for Trump tomorrow, you're thinking you call the shots. You're thinking that some man who worships Satan, I mean, he's got shrines to Apollo, Apollyon, the destroyer. His whole building is nothing. It's 666 all over it. That little triangle aiming down that's on Draco, the blue genie's mouth on iPet Goat 2, that's on his building. And it's got 6 bushes this way, 6 bushes that way, 6 bushes across the top. You're hoping that he can save your day. This guy who's paying hush money to prostitutes. He's cheating on his wife, and you feel bad that he's got to do it. It's sick. This world has went berserk. No joke. If you are a true child of the Most High, you ain't got nothing to do with none of that. You don't want nothing to do with none of that. You're stepping out of the way. You see, we're in the latter days. You're going home. You're wanting to live with Abba, Yahuwah the Most High, and you're stepping out of the way from all this world taking a nosedive off the cliff. You ain't trying to hold it back so you can keep this twisted, wicked world afloat. It's beyond rationale. It just don't even make no sense to even. I don't understand. And these people that are going to vote, these people aren't retarded. They got a brain, but that they don't want to lose what they got. They don't want to let go of this kingdom, of this world. They want, and we're supposed to be. Does not your Messiah, my Messiah, say we are in the world but not of the world? Do you think Messiah would be standing there voting for Trump tomorrow? What would the Messiah do? Would he be in line casting his ballot? I'm sure some of you are going to say, yeah, he would. He'd be in there voting for Trump. Yeah, okay. Speak, please, to Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, governor of Yehuda, and Joshua, and the remnant of the people, saying, who is there left among you who saw this house in its former esteem? And how do you see it now? How do you see it now? I know you didn't see it in its former esteem, but I'm sure you're aware. How do you see it now? What do you think about it now? Oh, that's right. It's just a fantasy to you, right? It's just yeah, one day I'm either going to get zapped up into the sky or I'll die before that happens to everyone else. And I'll wake up and Messiah's going to be pulling me up out of the tomb. And he's going to say, well done, faithful servant. See that kingdom? There's our kingdom. Float your little candy butt right over there and just float around for the rest of eternity. Man, and it's every day. Every day I wake up and the truth of the image of the beast gets louder and louder, and the understanding, the reason the Most High tells us over and over again that there's going to be great gnawing and gnashing of teeth, it becomes a lot more clear to me why that's going to happen every day. And the reason you can't see it, the reason you think that this is what you need to do, you think this is the right thing, the reason you won't go look into Israel being the image of the beast, all that, it's because you don't care about the Most High's house. You only care about your house, your reputation, your bank account, and I really doubt there's any length that you won't go to improve your situation, your house, your bank account. I'm almost certain that there ain't no amount of little children being blown to smithereen that you're not willing to be okay, that you wouldn't be okay with. I'm starting to think that as long as you get what you want, you'd be okay with 10 million little children getting their legs and heads blown off to smithereens tomorrow when you wake up. It don't matter. Like Trump said, he said he could go down on Fifth Avenue and shoot someone in the face, and that his followers would still love him. I'm sure of it. He's not lying. He knows, just like I know. You would. It wouldn't matter what he does. And you can't be saying that it would matter, because I've done shown you enough about him alone that should that would make it. I mean, you should already know that you're a damn fool if you go vote for Trump or Biden, any of them, RFK, any of them. If you go vote for any of these people, you're a damn fool. And it doesn't matter. Like I said, don't matter what they do. Doesn't matter what America does. Doesn't matter what Israel does. You're just going to keep on rocking. That's another way you can know for sure we're in the latter days, because the whole world is marching to their destruction. And they're admitting it out of their own mouth every day that that's what's happening. But they can't see that they themselves are committing suicide. Is it not in your eyes as nothing when compared to it? And now, be strong, Zerubbabel, declares Yahuwah, and be strong, Joshua, son of Jehozadak, the high priest. And be strong, all you people of the land, declares Yahuwah, and work, for I am with you, declares Yahuwah of hosts. The word that I covenanted with you when you came out of Egypt, Mitzrayim, and my spirit is remaining in your midst. Do not fear. For thus said Yahuwah of hosts, once more, in a little while, I am shaking the heavens and earth and the sea and dry land. Do you still believe that that's literal, that he wanted them to know? Okay, do you think that the Most High said, go build my house, quit thinking about your own houses, be strong, don't fear, go and build my house? Do you think he told him that, and then he said, for thus said Yahuwah, once more, I'm going to cause an earthquake. I'm going to shake the sky, the heavens. You're going to see moons and stars vibrating, and the sea and the dry land. There's going to be one more tsunami. I mean, seriously, guys. Why do you think he said that? He's letting you know that that's just one more piece of evidence to let you know that the where you think Yasharal is, or you can call it Israel, where you think that is, it's not where you think it is. That's why he's saying, I'm going to shake the heavens and the earth. And that lets you know, too, that he's talking about us in the end time. And I shall shake all the nations, and they shall come to the delight of all the nations. And I shall fill this house with esteem, said Yahuwah of hosts. There you go. Shake all the nations. The silver is mine and the gold is mine, declares Yahuwah of hosts. Let the esteem of this latter house be greater than the former, said Yahuwah of hosts. And in this place I give peace, declares Yahuwah of hosts. And it is going to be greater, because this is why. Because the first time when they came out of Egypt, there were people saying now, like all the world saying now, but the ones that come, they're going to want to give all esteem to the Most High and his house. That's why they'll come here. And in this place I give peace, declares Yahuwah of hosts. In this place I give peace. Oh, is that what's going on over there in Gaza and stuff? Peace? No. And guys, I'm really thinking that here after this eclipse comes, that shit's about to pop off like the grand finale. Because you can see everything's getting worse and worse every day, ramping up. Just today, Israel bombed Iran's consulate in Damascus, and Iran saying that they're going to retaliate, and they already did. They just flew some kind of drone or something into one of Israel's naval bases. They said no one was hurt, but it's not going to stop. It's only going to increase. And, you know, if I had to guess, one thing I could see happening once this eclipse happens, the one thing I see going down is everything you're seeing right now getting ramped all the way up. We're seeing now, every day we see that Israel killed 1,000 people today and 900 little children. Well, that number's going up. Everyone fighting with each other, Ukraine, Russia, all this stuff, it's going to just start ramping all the way up. On the 24th day of the 9th month, which would be, if September's the 6th month, then that means November is the 9th month. But isn't it kind of funny that he keeps mentioning the 24th day here? And that is what happened. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch my video that I made on the 24th and the 23rd of September. And you're going to see. You'll see that that's when all this stuff started to come out and come to me about the image of the beast. Since then, you wouldn't believe the amount of truth that's been given to me from his word. And whoever doubts that, you can doubt it if you want, but is it really legit? Is your opinion legit if you're doubting that I've gotten all this truth, but you can't even come see what the truth is? You're running from it. You're scared. So in the 2nd year, the word of Yahuwah came unto Haggai the prophet, saying, Thus said Yahuwah of hosts, now ask the priest concerning the Torah, saying, If one bear set apart meat in the fold of his garment, and with the edge he touches bread or stew or wine or oil or any food, is it set apart? And the priest answered and said, No. Are you set apart if you're going to cast your vote tomorrow? No, you're not. You're not set apart. You're not a kingdom citizen. You're not a child of the Most High. If you don't look into the truth about the image of the beast and you just keep rocking it, you keep You stay in the car with them while they continue with their sick and twisted whatever. Are you set apart? No, you're not. And Haggai said, if someone defiled by a dead body touches any of these, is it defiled? And the priest answered and said, it is defiled. And Haggai answered and said, so is this people, and so is this nation before me, declares Yahuwah, and so is every work of their hands, and whatever they bring near there is defiled. That's what you're voting. You're voting for America to stay open so all this defilement can continue on. But you're set apart. And I'm sure you're going to say that I'm not set apart because I said the word bullshit. I know how it goes. But now, please consider, from this day onward, before a stone was laid on a stone in the Hakal of Yahuwah, since those days, one came to a heap of 20 ephahs, and there were 10. One came to the winepress to draw out 50 baths from the press, and there were 20. I struck you with blight and mildew and hail and in all labors of your hands, and there was none of you with me, declares Yahuwah. That's why. The whole reason all this debauchery is taking place is because the Most High's house sits in humiliation and ruins, and you don't give a damn about it. All your problems comes from that. Everything, all you're going to vote to keep your problems going tomorrow if you go vote. You're hoping that you can go on in misery and stress and poverty and sin and wickedness. Consider now from this day forward, from the 24th day of the 9th month, from the day that the foundation of the Hakal of Yahuwah was laid, consider it. So now I'm starting to think that's why that happened on the 24th. Because look, this is what the Revelation 12 sign that happened on the 24th or the 23rd of September last year, what that signified was the child being born in the house, at home. That's why it happened on that day. And you don't have to believe this, but from that day, I had been in the land for right around 9 months. Sure was. Yep. Is the seed yet in the storehouse? No. There's one. Yeah, I guess the seed is, but the people don't care about the storehouse. And until now, the vine and the fig tree and the pomegranate and the olive tree have not yielded fruit. From this day on, I shall bless you. From this day on, I shall bless you. From what day on? From the day the seed enters the storehouse. If you never come to the storehouse, if you don't care nothing about it, well, right back here. Blight, mildew, everything you do is defiled and a curse. Whether you think it is or isn't, doesn't matter what you think. You don't call the shots. The Most High is the one that tells us what's going on, when it's going on. You're not included in that conversation. And the second time the word of Yahuwah came to Haggai on the 24th day of the new moon, saying, That's 4 times now in these first 2 chapters that we've seen a whatever you want to call it, that the Most High took a liking to the day, the 24th day. So that's why it's in everything. Twin Peaks, they talk about the 24th of February all the time. I mean, I don't have to explain it to you. You know we're in the latter days, but go vote for Trump and Biden tomorrow. Like good little sheeple. Speak to Zerubbabel, the governor of Yehuda, saying, I am shaking the heavens and earth. Is he telling Zerubbabel, I'm going to make an earthquake? No. And I shall overturn the throne of reigns. What you're going to vote for tomorrow, it's about to be overturned anyway. But go ahead, go vote. And like I said, you might be thinking, well, even if it does, what's it matter if I vote? Because the Most High is clocking you. He's going to know if you went in and voted for him, for whoever tomorrow. My vote's with Abba Yahuwah, and that's it. I vote for him and his house and his son and his kingdom and nothing else. And if you don't like it, tough titty. And I shall overturn the throne of the reigns, and I shall destroy the might of the reigns of the nations, and overturn the chariots and their riders, and the horses and their riders shall come down, each by the sword of his brother. In that day, declares Yahuwah of hosts, I shall take you, Zerubbabel, my servant, son of Shealtiel, declares Yahuwah, and shall make you a signet, for I have chosen you, declares Yahuwah of hosts. And remember, the reason he was talking about in the end times, actually, right there. They went back and started to try to build the house, but it never did get complete, never did get finished. He was talking about the end times, and the reason he said that he would make Zerubbabel a signet is because, like I've said before, we've done the research. Zerubbabel means the seed of Babel, or one from Babel who sows seeds. It means the same thing, but it's got like dual meanings. It means a seed from Babel, or someone from Babel who sows seeds. So the reason that he said Zerubbabel is a signet is because in these latter days, someone from Babylon would come home to the Most High's house. That's why he said that. Now I'm going to read the first chapter of Zechariah, and man, I can't wait to reread Zechariah with you. How many times, you guys, have I read Zechariah to you? All these prophets. But we're going to keep getting it, because more and more, the more I read it, the more revelation I see. And like I said, this is the living word. You're not above it, neither am I. We could read it. We could read this chapter right now, come back 10 minutes from now, and we'll see something all brand new, because that's how the Most High is. He's not like you or me. But I'm so excited to read this Zechariah again to you guys, because, and I just read it again the last couple days. I've been reading it back and forth, and it's just amazing how much truth and that's in it, and how many answers it will give you for what's going on today, for what you're witnessing going on in the world today. It's going to answer basically probably all the questions you have. In the 8th new moon of the 2nd year of Darius, the word of Yahuwah came to Zechariah, son of Berechiah, son of Iddo, the prophet, saying. So that's October, right? If September's the 6th, October's the 7th, November, the 1st of November. Yahuwah was very wroth with your fathers, and you shall say to them, thus said Yahuwah of hosts, turn back to me, declares Yahuwah of hosts, and I shall turn back to you, declares Yahuwah of hosts. Do not be like your fathers, to whom the former prophets proclaimed, saying, thus said Yahuwah of hosts, turn back now from your evil ways and your evil deeds. But they did not obey or give heed to me, declares Yahuwah. They went and they voted for Satan. They didn't care. They just kept on a-trucking. Your fathers, where are they? And the prophets, do they live forever? But my words and my laws, which I commanded my servants, the prophets, did they not overtake your fathers? Then they turned back and said, as Yahuwah of hosts planned to do to us, according to our ways and according to our deeds, so he has done with us. Here it is again. On the 24th day of the 11th new moon, so which would be February, No, wait. If April's the 1st, yeah, April. When March would be the 12th, February would be the 11th. So on the 24th day of February, which is the new moon Shabbat in the 2nd year of Darius, the word of Yahuwah came to Zechariah, son of Berechiah, son of Iddo, the prophet, saying, I looked at night and saw a man riding on a red horse, and he was standing among the myrtle trees in the shade, and behind him were horses, red, sorrel, and white. Sorrel is brown, reddish brown. And I said, my master, what are these? And the messenger who was speaking to me said to me, let me know, or let me show you what they are. And the man who stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, they are the ones Yahuwah has sent to go throughout the earth. And they answered the messenger of Yahuwah, who stood among the myrtle trees, and said, we have gone throughout the earth, and see, all the earth is at peace and rest. And the messenger of Yahuwah answered and said, O Yahuwah of hosts, how long would you have no compassion on Jerusalem and on the cities of Yehuda, against which you were enraged these 70 years? Those 70 years. And Yahuwah answered the messenger who talked to me good words, comforting words. Comforting words. So you know they were about Jerusalem. Compassion on Jerusalem. And the messenger who spoke with me said to me, proclaim, saying, thus said Yahuwah of hosts, I have been jealous for Jerusalem and for Sion with great jealousy. Boom. That just confirms all the times I've been telling you that that's the reason he's jealous. I mean, there you go. The image of jealousy is your Isis Ra'el, your Israel. Yeah. And I am very wroth with the nations who are at ease. For when I was a little wroth, they furthered the evil. Therefore, thus said Yahuwah, I shall return to Jerusalem with compassion. My house shall be built in it, declares Yahuwah of hosts, and a surveyor's line be stretched out over Jerusalem. Again proclaim, saying, thus said Yahuwah of hosts, again my city shall overflow with goodness, and Yahuwah shall again comfort Sion, and shall again choose Jerusalem. Oh yeah, I mentioned that the YouTube channel John Levy every once in a while. Go check out the video he just put up here a couple days ago. On the thumbnail, you'll see the word Provo in it. And I've been telling you that's where Jerusalem is in the Provo, Utah area. Prove me wrong. You can't, you won't. I'll be right here waiting. He just made a video where he went to Provo here the other day. He was just there. And he went up in the mountains right behind like Springville and Provo area. And he's been finding all these ancient kilns, lime kilns, like where they made bricks up in the mountains, manufacturing. And I mean, you talk about the earth being shaken. That's what the Most High is talking about. That's why all this stuff's happening. That's why you see people, more and more people every day coming out saying, hey, that's not the land over there. That's America. Because they're reading the word, they're seeing it. So it's just a matter of time before they start coming home. And because he's whistling for them. But he says only a few are going to find it. So it's not going to be like a mass invasion. It's not going to be like the southern border down there where a bunch of migrants come. No, it's going to be one here and one there. And those people are going to be those who esteem the Most High, who fear him and who love him. And they don't care about Trump and Biden and Obama in America and all that stuff. They don't care about none of that. Again, proclaim, saying, thus said Yahuwah of hosts, again my city shall overflow with goodness, and Yahuwah shall again comfort Sion, and shall again choose Jerusalem. And I lifted up my eyes and looked and saw 4 horns. And I said to the messenger who was speaking to me, what are these? And he said to me, these are the horns that have scattered Yehuda, Yasharal, and Jerusalem. And Yahuwah showed me 4 craftsmen. 4 craftsmen, okay? We know about the 4 horsemen, or 4 horns here. So the 4 horns are 4 craftsmen. Craftsmen. That lets you know, that goes and that will show you that the horns, a horn represents a mouthpiece, someone proclaiming something. And if they're craftsmen, that means they've crafted a lie and sold you a lie. And isn't it funny that we're talking about Yerushalayim right now? It's just more proof of what I've been saying, the truth of it. And I said, what are these coming to do? And he spoke to me, saying, these are the horns that scattered Yehuda so that no one lifted up his head. No one lifted up his head. Exactly what we've been talking about. No one wants to do that which is continual. No one wants to come home. And it's because you've been lied to by some craftsmen. But these come to trouble them, to throw down the horns of the nations that lifted up their horns against the land of Yehuda to scatter it. And I lifted up my eyes and looked and saw a man with a measuring line in his hand. Truth. And I said, where are you going? And he said to me, to measure Yerushalayim, to see what its width and what its length is, its length. And see, the messenger who was speaking to me was going out, and another messenger was coming out to meet him. And he said to him, run, speak to this young man, saying, Yerushalayim is to remain unwalled because of the many men and livestock in it. For I myself am to her, declares Yahuwah, a wall of fire all around. And for a steam I am in her midst. A wall of fire all around. Boom. Passover. The end. The day of wrath. That's what he's talking about. And flee from the land of the north, declares Yahuwah, for I have scattered you like the four winds of the heavens, declares Yahuwah. O Sion, escape, you who dwell with the daughter of Babel. The daughter of Babel is Israel. And he's not talking about those who live there alone. He's talking about anyone who still hasn't lifted their head up because of the lies by the craftsmen. For thus said Yahuwah of hosts, for the sake of esteem he sent me to the nations which plunder you. For he who touches you touches the apple of my eye. And no, he's not talking about touching Israel. He's talking about touching his true children, his people, his land, his city. For look, I am waving my hand against them, and they shall become spoil for their servants. And you shall know that Yahuwah of hosts has sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Sion, for look, I am coming and shall dwell in your midst, declares Yahuwah. And many nations shall be joined to Yahuwah in that day, and they shall become my people, and I shall dwell in your midst, and you shall know that Yahuwah of hosts has sent me to you. And he's not talking about a mass group of people. He's talking about people from each nation. Different people. And Yahuwah shall inherit Yehuda, his portion in the set-apart land, and he shall again choose Yerushalayim. Hush, all flesh before Yahuwah, for he has roused himself out of his set-apart dwelling. That's what's happened. He's roused himself. And wait till you see what the rest of Zechariah says. And it's going to prove to you, which you should, if you're a true lover of the word and you tremble over it, you should already know this anyways, but it's going to prove to you everything I've been saying about Israel being the image of the beast and what the mark of the beast is and what it means and where the true home is and that you must return. And only the people who return are going to live, and those who don't will die. It's going to prove that to you. Next time.